I'm Matt Glenn. You're watching 203K TV, where we're talking everything 203K and Fannie Mae HomeStyle. Today we're here with Nathan Crowley with Team Metro Real Estate. The reason we have Nathan here is that not only is he a fantastic real estate agent in the area, but he's also bought 2 multi-unit properties himself. A lot of people who are out here watching are interested in multi-unit properties. They're interested in using these loans to buy multi-unit properties. It's such a huge advantage. So we wanted to ask you, walk us through it. First, tell us what a multi-unit property is.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me. So basically, you know, I was doing research. I wanted to get my feet wet, right? And I decided, hey, let me look into these multi-units.
Yeah.
In 2014 is when I bought my first one. So I ended up, you know, everyone knows it's so hard and expensive to live here, and I have a single income, so I needed to say, hey, what can I do to subsidize my mortgage?
Yeah.
So that's when I found that one. I bought a property in City Heights.
Yeah.
And that was my first one, and I ended up doing the math, and I was like, okay, I can afford this,
Yeah.
right? So you can talk about how much credit you get per rental income. But so that back unit was rented. I had tenants. I inherited these tenants they were there 15 years.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So you looked at this property. There were already tenants in the back unit
Correct.
renting it out.
Yeah.
And when you bought it, they were going to stay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So
Yeah.
you knew walking in
I knew walking in I was inheriting it.
Yeah.
Now that could be good or bad, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, but it worked out okay for you.
Yeah, I was just very upfront, and you know, these people were very down to earth, and I just said, hey, I was very, you know, candid with them. I was like, I have to. First of all, their unit was distressed.
Oh,
so
geez.
I think
Okay.
part of the reason why I got this property, it scared a lot of people away.
Why?
A few things. So it wasn't marketed properly. It was actually marketed as a single family. Upon research, I realized, oh, well, this is a duplex. There's a unit in the back.
Wow.
But it was so distressed, you know, it was just that agent decided, hey, you know what? I'm just going to market it as a single family.
Isn't that crazy? So it's a legal 2-unit property
legal-
being marketed as a
single family residence.
and you found it on the MLS.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, it could have went both ways. I see what he was doing.
Okay.
I think he was maybe doing it more for a liability purpose.
Oh, just because it was so distressed.
It was it was worse than I anticipated. Yeah.
Oh wow. And there were people living there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. For
So
15 years.
how'd you handle that?
So what happened was the front house was vacant.
Okay.
The owner unfortunately passed away, and that's why the property went on the market. So I got in there, did my inspections office, did my typical process.
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting into. It was just a little bit worse than I thought, but I said, hey, you know what? This is still a great opportunity. So I ended up proposing to them, hey, let me put you in the front unit
No way.
while I renovate your unit.
So you moved in the back unit.
So no, I had a few months.
Oh, okay.
Right,
to
to get that fixed up.
Okay.
And
okay.
then I moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you closed. You moved really quickly. Moved them into the front where it was habitable.
Right.
Fixed up the back.
Correct.
Wow.
Put them in the back. Put them back in the back.
Okay, so that you can move in and occupy within the 60
Yeah.
days, obviously,
Yeah.
as required by FHA.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Cool.
it was a lot of timing going on, but you know, I told them I want to keep them as tenants.
Yeah.
But I have to raise their rent. The rent hasn't been raised in 15 years. It really wasn't. So
Yeah. So did you raise their rent when you moved them into the front unit or when?
no.
Okay.
I just told them, hey, this is what it's going to be. If you're not comfortable with that, let me know and I'll give you notice.
Okay.
It's still minimal.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah. So hold on. So you moved them to the front, kept the rent the same, renovated the back,
Correct.
moved them back to the back,
Correct.
and then increased the rent because they're living in a better place.
Better unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the majority of the work went into that back unit.
Okay.
It's small, but it needed a lot.
Okay. And then tell me about. So you move in the front unit.
So then I actually had to do a couple, well, I had to do some work to the front unit too, not much, just new flooring, stuff that I wanted to do for myself.
Okay.
And then, lived in,
When you say not much, how much?
for the
10
front unit,
Yeah.
I probably put in, maybe 10 grand,
Okay. And how much in the back unit?
probably 50 to 70 grand.
Oh wow. So you spent. It was in bad
There's
shape.
foundation problems.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So 50 to 70 in the back, 10 in the front. What'd you buy it for?
273.
And what's it worth now?
The unit in the back's still not that great, honestly.
Okay.
And I would say conservatively 500 to 525.
And so obviously that's property appreciation since
2014.
right. So
Yeah.
we've got 3 to 4 years
Yeah.
going there. But then how much did improving those units, how much did that raise the value? And then also, how much did it raise the rents?
It's a good question. So that's kind of, let me start from the beginning. So the back unit, I raised their rent. They were paying $400 a month.
Oh my gosh.
For 15 years.
That's crazy.
I told them I was going to raise it to $800 a month.
Okay.
It's 650 square feet, one bedroom.
Okay.
It's still not the greatest.
Okay. There's going to be a lot of people out here wanting to rent rent your unit.
No, they won't. They'll send pictures.
With 70 grand, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The math doesn't work. But I just knew the big picture, it was going to be what I needed to do. So $800 a month is what they're paying.
Okay.
And then, as you know, rental market has increased probably even more quickly than sales market.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting point to bring up, especially here in San Diego. There's such a rental crunch. I mean, rental vacancies are down under 2%.
Right.
So you have no problem renting that unit out.
No.
And now the front unit, right? Because you since...
Okay, so yeah, I actually started to outgrow that unit.
Yeah.
Decided, you know what, let me start looking for another one.
Yeah.
And that house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 850 square feet.
The front unit?
Yes.
Okay.
1-car garage, really clean, nice little unit. So I put that on the market. I had no idea what I'd get. So I started at about, I think, 1,800 and got a lot of inquiries.
The rental market?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Rental market. And then ultimately ended up finding a great tenant and getting $2,000 a month.
For the front unit?
For the front unit.
Okay, so $2,000 in the front, $800 in the back.
$2,800 total.
So that's covered?
Yes, I pay, the water. That doesn't include, so it's just $2,800 gross.
Yep.
$2,800 a month gross.
Awesome. Wow. Okay, so then where'd you go?
Found another duplex.
Did it again?
Yeah, actually, this one is a little bit more unique. It's over. I knew I wanted to be here a little bit longer.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta stop you. So first, let's talk about City Heights. You
Okay.
said so. For people who don't know, that's kind of tell me about the City Heights area.
So my recommendation is you can't be afraid to try and put your feelers outside of areas that you are uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
AKA, I wasn't extremely familiar with City Heights. I just knew there was opportunity there.
Yeah.
And you just have to go with your own judgment. I drove the streets.
Yeah.
Of the area, with plus or minus 3 blocks.
Yeah.
I felt that it wasn't bad.
Okay.
Was it perfect? No, but I knew this isn't my forever home.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Really, I just wanted to get my feet in the door.
Yeah. Own something.
Own something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and put my money towards something.
Yeah.
And City Heights, I still am a huge fan of it. I advocate City Heights all the time.
So, and people who watch this will be watching from like all over the country. So, but it's really cool to hear you say that, hey, I wasn't necessarily comfortable with this area, but I just...
It wasn't my top choice.
Yeah.
But my top choice would have been pushing my budget to the max.
Yeah.
Whereas I could afford comfortably this property and I could build equity.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got that covered. Now let's move. Now you've moved.
Correct.
Okay.
So
multi-unit again.
I did.
Okay.
So again, just put my feelers out there. I knew the area I kind of preferred.
Yep.
I want walkability, which is important for a lot of people, I think, our age.
Yep.
And this property was actually pending in the MLS, so
Okay.
it was not available.
Okay.
But in the remarks I read, it said the sale was contingent upon the buyers selling their house.
Okay.
At that time, the market wasn't this is in 2015.
Yeah.
Starting to heat up.
Okay.
But I made a call to the agent.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not a contingent offer. I'm going to make an offer, and you play it out how you want. So I made a really strong offer. They ended up giving the notice to perform to the people they had in contract. They unfortunately couldn't perform. Good for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ultimately, I got that accepted.
When you say a strong offer, is that a at value offer, above value?
You and I know this in San Diego. It's anything above. You got to go above list.
Above list.
Most of the time.
Above list.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're moving into a home which obviously you're going to live in, but you have intention of being an investment as well.
Correct.
And you're paying more than market value for it.
At the time, yes, I paid a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So tell me about that. So
right.
now you've.
So I locked that one up.
Okay.
Closed it. That one also needed a little work. So I guess my motto is, don't be afraid of stuff that. Every house is going to need some work. It's not going to be perfect. Everyone's tastes are different. This one, you just have to have a little bit of a vision. And I saw, okay, well, this one needs some work, but it's not too bad. It's not as bad as the first one.
I've seen this house. You needed some real vision. You need some X-ray vision.
Yeah, it's pretty
So tell them about what you did with this one.
So the whole intention on this property is a duplex as well. So it's a two on one.
Yeah.
The motivation, to be honest, my parents are retired, and I wanted to, hey, 6 months of the year they could live in the front house.
Yeah.
I'll live in the back.
Yeah.
So that was my goal for this.
You're calling the back one a house?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a unit.
So I'm joking because when Nathan bought this property,
Yeah.
it didn't look like a unit, right?
It was a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
It was a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
That's all it was.
Okay.
Yeah, but 500 square feet, tiny.
Okay. And what'd you do to it?
So the first front house I fixed up, remodeled everything,
Okay.
made it. It was 1920s. So I brought it back to period.
Okay.
Made it nice. And the back unit, like I mentioned, is a 1-bedroom. I decided, you know what? Let's just I blew it all out. So I blew out everything, all the walls.
Yep.
Kind of made it a little bit more modern.
Yep.
Still small, but everything opens up to the backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the garage door.
Put a glass
right?
garage door
Yep.
in, a polished cement floors,
Yep.
Marble countertops. Probably a little bit too much, but it ended up being exactly what I was, wanting to do.
What'd you buy it for?
I ended up in contract lower than list price because I negotiated some repairs.
Okay.
I ended up at $477,000.
Okay.
$477,000.
Okay. And now it's worth?
Just got appraised for $770,000.
How much did you put in?
About $100,000.
Okay. So again, still crazy equity. Yeah. And then you rent the front unit out?
So this is a story. I actually fell into Airbnb this way. So
Okay.
I think this is where this is probably leading.
Yeah.
The cool thing is I didn't buy this house with that because Airbnb was still kind of new. Like 2.5 years ago, wasn't huge.
Yeah.
But I was like, what can I do in the 6 months that my parents aren't here to still have subsidized my mortgage,
Yeah.
right? So that was my whole goal. And I was like, okay, an Airbnb. I'm like, let me try this. So I did it. I got professional shots taken. You follow the guidelines that Airbnb give you.
Yeah.
And I put it up on the free market on Airbnb's website. Started getting bookings.
Yeah.
And now it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
So now it's an Airbnb in the front, which is legal here in San Diego.
Yep.
And you rent it out how often?
In March, I had 1 day open.
Wow.
My occupancy rate on average is probably 70%.
And so why do you do Airbnb and not just a monthly rental?
Okay, so after research, again, the whole parents thing was the motivation,
Yeah.
but now it's become, okay, well, it's more equitable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at rents are very high.
Mm-hmm.
My house in the front, it's an old cottage. Given what it is, I can make double what I make renting out long term if I Airbnb it.
Wow. So and so the concept behind Airbnb is more or less a hotel-ish, right?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, you can look at it that way. Yeah, it's allowing, in my opinion, it's allowing people that can't afford to bring their family to vacation to San Diego.
Okay.
Right now, this family of 4 doesn't need 2 hotel rooms. They can actually book a house for less.
Yeah.
And I truly, in my opinion, and I know this is all debatable, but I think Airbnb isn't really truly affecting the hotel industry that much. I don't host a lot of business people.
Yeah.
The majority of people
Really?
I'm hosting are family.
Yeah.
And people just visiting for the weekend.
Wow. So they stay with you for
On average, probably 3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days, and then they leave.
Yep.
And then somebody new comes in.
Correct.
And so you have a staff that gets in there and cleans
So
up.
yeah, I've learned, right?
Okay.
So I wanted to run this for 6 months. I'm like, I'm doing it for 6 months on my own. I want to learn this business. At the
Okay.
time, again, nothing was out, like Pillow and all that,
Yeah.
the other stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm doing it, and it's a whole nother business.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll
Yeah.
give you a whole nother lesson on
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
But
Going
it's
well.
It's like running a hotel.
Going well. So we know
It's
you
going
have
very
a
well.
ton of equity in this property. We know that you're getting double the rent on this front unit that you would if you rented it normally.
Correct.
Is your rent on the front unit enough to cover the whole property or close?
It's covering between 80 and 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What's next? Another multi-unit?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna calm down for a little bit. Maybe buy a new car.
Okay. Well, you did the multi-units first and
Yeah.
built all that, and
Yeah.
incredible equity in both those
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah, it's been a great learning experience. My biggest piece of advice is, have a little bit of an open mind. If you're only focusing on one area, you're really limiting your options.
Yeah.
I'm still a huge advocate for areas. Nowhere in San Diego, I believe, is really that bad.
Really?
You know?
Yeah.
So I think you definitely, and people that live in San Diego need to keep an open mind and then get your feet wet. Like I said, it's not your forever home, and then you can use that. You can even sell that, use that equity to put into your forever home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why we had you, and thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming. I
hope
mean,
that
you've
was a
been
help.
awesome. Oh, totally. So, Nathan Crowley, Team Metro, multi-unit extraordinaire.
Not yet. It got a lot longer to go.
Built a ton of equity, renting properties out, renting units out, really teaching people how the real estate game can be done.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for
Yeah,
coming.
man. Thank you. See you.